The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. I'm Andy MacNeil, your host, here on weekdays to provide NHL projections, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. With me today, as always, is producer Jake. Jake, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Connor already making fun of my my Chargers pick in the chat there. I blew it. It was the worst pick ever. Easton Stick was
Yeah,
definitely
what was
not.
the score of
It
that
was
one?
63 to 21. Chargers only scored 21 points in garbage time. Easton Stick actually ended up with 3 touchdowns, but it was much worse than that. And I don't have the NFL stat book in front of me, but the Raiders scored exactly 0 points last week. 0 points to 63 points in a week. That's got to be an NFL record. I can't guarantee it, but I would say 99% that's got to be an NFL record.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. A pretty incredible turnaround for sure. Yeah, I only saw actually the one. I saw one highlight, and I just happened to see it when I was scrolling through Twitter. And the score I think was like I don't know 50 something, 60 something to like 7 at the time when your guy there, what's his name, Easton Stick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Easton
he made
Stick.
a he made just like a straight like lateral pass and it got picked off and it was like the easiest interception ever. Like,
Yeah, it was 42. It was 42 nothing at the half, and at that point, I was pretty sure my pick wasn't coming through. But yeah, you can't win them all.
yeah, I wonder what's the. I never did the math. Like, what I wonder what the hockey score equivalent of something like that is. You know, like a football score that's that big
Yeah, I
because
mean, in football they get up pretty high, but I would say that's like 9 or 10 nothing.
yeah, yeah. Well, my small bet on the Ottawa Senators against the St. Louis Blues certainly felt like it was 63 to 21 last night. The Sens didn't look like they had much of a chance. The Red Wings, I thought, we had the Red Wings as a bigger underdog versus the Carolina Hurricanes, and I thought the Red Wings did a pretty good job for the first 40 minutes at least, hanging with the Hurricanes. The game was tied, then a big gaff from Ville Husso, and yeah, I get it, mistakes happen, and he played pretty good in that game overall, but unfortunate to see it go down like that. He came out of the net quite a ways, tried to play the puck, tried to get his paddle down to stop. A dump in that was coming in pretty hot, and it bounced off the end boards, came out. He made another mistake going for the poke check, and that got Carolina the game-winning goal. That was the final score. And yeah, the Red Wings they kept it close, but couldn't get the job done. I'm on the Predators for Friday. If you watched Thursday's show, we got down on a great number on the Nashville Predators here. Plus 163 at NorthStar Bets on Thursday when this one opened. Now plus 138 at NorthStar Bets, the best price in market, plus 147. That's at an exchange, so not really available by any means. We're seeing mostly plus 135 and plus 140 out there. So I know once a lot of the other shops opened up, the Preds were still a pretty big underdog. I saw them open as high as plus 168 at one big sports book, which moved really quickly down to the plus 140 range. They came back up into the plus 150s. I know some other shops opened in the plus 150s. It's long gone now. I would not play the Predators at this number. I think that it is, we've done our job here. We've got a lot of value on this play. Hopefully we can get some of that back from that Red Wings loss on Thursday on this Predators team tonight, playing the Hurricanes on the road. Carolina has been a lot better at home, so that's a little tough. But yeah, hopefully we'll get the right goaltender here with UC Saros in goal for the Predators. And yeah, let the chips fall where they may. But that's going to be my only play for Friday as of right now. I guess close to a small bet on the Buffalo Sabres, but not really. So if we could pull up the projections for Friday, Jake, yeah, they're up on the screen. I'm a little behind here as always, but yeah, looking at the board, NorthStar Bets currently plus 185 on the Sabres. The model has plus 176. So Jeff Skinner out for the Buffalo Sabres, or not sure what his status is exactly for the game, but he is kind of on the shelf right now. I don't think he's going to play in this one. Of course, they've got Alex Tuck back in the lineup. First time. Last game was the first time they had Tuck and Thompson back in the lineup for a while. Did not go well versus the Colorado Avalanche. The Vegas Golden Knights, they're a bit of a different story. Doesn't look like they will get any help back from any of their injured players, at least not until after the weekend. But yeah, not a lot of interest in Friday's slate. So I've got one play. It's on the Predators. We've got a great number. Would not bet the Predators. Wouldn't bet the Hurricanes either. It hasn't come that far to where I would say that the Hurricanes are now a good bet. It's just we've predicted the line movement perfectly here, and now things line up with the projection model. Let's get into a bit of a schedule breakdown here. Of course, the Predators. One of the reasons that I'm on the Predators here, and one of the reasons that I thought they should be a smaller underdog is that the Preds have 2 days off. And of course, the Canes played last night and they had to travel from Detroit back to Carolina for this one. So that'll be a tough spot for Carolina. Hopefully, the Predators can capitalize on that. Connor asking in the chat, what caused the big move on Boston? So, of course, we're talking about Saturday's games, which we're going to get into a little bit. And I can't answer that right now, Connor, because I really wasn't monitoring the market here, getting ready for the show. But I'm going to have a look here shortly. So yeah, just hang tough on that one. I really don't have a lot of interest in this one. So I'm going to move on to Saturday's games because there is more to get to on the schedule breakdown here. We've got the Rangers and the Bruins playing 2 games in 2 nights, both playing on Friday and then playing again on Saturday. Of course, the Bruins in action against the Islanders. So we'll talk about this game really quickly here, and I'm going to find out what's all the fuss about here on the Boston Bruins. So Sorokin and net. That is confirmed, is it? I know that he is expected, but expected to start on Friday. So no confirmation yet. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the move toward the Islanders here. I know that the Islanders were up around plus 110 at some sports books. Now the best price in market looks to be plus 110, but that's at an exchange once again. So things have already moved quite a bit. But at NorthStar Bets, our sponsor on this show, the Islanders are currently plus 102. I think that move makes sense. I think there was some tiny value on the Islanders at the plus 110 price point, but obviously not enough to justify a bet as the model thinks they should be a plus 107 underdog. But yeah, let's move on to Saturday because that's the day that I really want to talk about here. I guess we'll talk a little bit about Friday's games as we go because there are some back-to-backs, but Saturday's projections, there's really one game that sticks out here. And for anybody that caught my hit on TSN 1050 on Thursday, talked about the Leafs, about why it's so hard to find value on the Toronto Maple Leafs, talked about the Pittsburgh Penguins, and about why I've been, leaning towards fading them more often than not here over this last little stretch. And I'm going to be betting on the Penguins here to beat the Maple Leafs on Saturday night. Of course, Toronto going to overtime for the 13th time this season, league leading 13 times. And they continue to underperform in games that they should win easily. Not that this game against the Penguins is that at all. But there have been 5 games this season in which the Maple Leafs have had odds of 68% or higher, i.e. minus 215 or higher. And they've only won a single one of those games out of 5. And 4 of those games have gone to overtime. So that's pretty tough look for the Maple Leafs. And the Penguins, I mean, they're not hot right now, that's for sure, coming off that shootout win over the Canadiens. And only 3 teams, Anaheim, Montreal, and Chicago, have scored fewer goals than the Penguins at 5-on-5 over the last month. But Anaheim, Montreal, and Chicago rank 25th, 28th, and 32nd, respectively, in expected goals percentage at 5-on-5. But the Penguins ranked 9th. So really unlucky here for Pittsburgh all season long, really. They haven't been playing well as of late. They've got an expected goals percentage down around 48, 49% over the last month. So that means they're definitely, playing at their floor right now. But look, I think you look at this Pittsburgh team, they've already got a win over Toronto. plus 143 is what we're seeing here at NorthStar Bets right now. And that is a good price as far as I'm concerned, and good enough to bet 1 unit to win 1.43 units on the Pittsburgh Penguins. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. Bet on Pittsburgh to beat Toronto on the money line, plus 143 at NorthStar Bets. That's a 1 unit play. It's going to be my best bet for Saturday, as of right now, anyway, because a lot of small edges, not a lot here on the slate. Um, Connor, yeah, calling me out appropriately in the chat yesterday. As we know, we didn't know that Pavel Zacha and or sorry, you did know that, but I made the mistake of including them in the lineup in my look ahead line. Um, Pavel Zacha and Charlie McAvoy did not take them out fully for yesterday's look ahead line. That's on me. My bad. That is the reason for the big move yesterday. The model showed Boston minus 125. Today, New York Islanders minus 107. So that was a mistake on my part. Hopefully, didn't cause anybody to make any wagers. Sorry about that one. You know, mistakes are going to happen with so many moving parts throughout the NHL season, and doing these look ahead lines don't happen very often, but they do happen. So yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Hence the reason for the change. Thanks for making note of that, Connor. And yeah, anytime you've got a question like that, of course, ask in the chat, and I'll try to shed some light on it. And like the Penguins, I want to talk about the Florida Panthers here, because they've been among the bottom 5 teams on offense at 5-on-5 over the last month, but they rank 8th in expected goals per 60 minutes. So, yeah, a bit unlucky for the Panthers, more than a bit, I guess. Florida dominated from the end of October into December, only playing a few bad games, but they've kind of bottomed out over the last few games. They got shut out 4-0 by the Kraken, and then the Canucks, same score. So the Panthers, they're playing at their floor right now, just like the Penguins. But, you know, unlike the Penguins, this hasn't been going on for very long. So, yeah, Florida plus 121. That's the price that the model says should be listed for this game. Edmonton, a minus 121 favorite. So I'm kind of looking at the Panthers here, because I'm maybe expecting a big move towards the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not ready to start fading the Panthers yet, that's for sure. But we're only seeing plus 115, plus 112 at NorthStar Bets right now on the Florida Panthers. So a long way to go, but that's one team that I will be looking at. Of course, we saw a big move against the Tampa Bay Lightning throughout the day yesterday. Connor, I mean, he said that somebody was betting the Oilers as if they knew the final score, and sure, it looked like that. But of course, Edmonton did play like they were going to win that game. They played pretty good last night. The underlying metrics, the stats, all in the Oilers' favor. But Tampa Bay somehow pulled off that upset, and that's going to happen with this Edmonton team. It's not like they have rock solid goaltending, and yeah, so that was an interesting game, because they traded leads. The Tampa Bay Lightning ultimately win that one 7-4. Of course, Victor Hedman missed his second straight game. He might not be in action on Saturday against the Flames. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I don't know that I'd have any interest on that one, even if Hedman is in the lineup, but I guess we'll wait and see. Things could change a lot here as more sports books open up. But of course, this show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets, and they offer early odds on the next day's NHL games, which allows us to take a look ahead and look forward to the next day, find some early betting value like we did on the Predators, plus 163, now all the way down to the plus 135, plus 130 range. So really happy with that. Check them out via the link in the description below. But yeah, like the Panthers, like the Penguins, the Dallas Stars have also been playing at their floor for a while now. And it's not just a couple of games, right? Dallas ranks 22nd in expected goals percentage at 5-on-5, 28th in goal share at just 45.4% over the last month. Now, the Stars did grade out as the 11th best team in expected goals against per 60 minutes at 5-on-5 during that stretch, but only 2 teams, St. Louis, the team that they're up against on the second half of a back-to-back on Saturday, and Anaheim, the Ducks, who have a really hard time scoring lately, have allowed more 5-on-5 goals per 60 minutes than the Dallas Stars. So Dallas has been, low key bad for a month now, and the model leaning towards the St. Louis Blues here. Unfortunately, doesn't look like enough to make a bet right now, but we're seeing some plus 135 out there kind of showing in the market. Not something that's available to me. NorthStar Bets has plus 128, which technically offers a tiny bit of value because the model thinks that Dallas should be a minus 125 favorite on the road. That's a far cry from where they would have been, early in the season. If I recall correctly, I remember laying the Stars on the road in St. Louis at around that minus 200, minus 190 price point, maybe a little bit lower than that, but still, like I said, a far cry from where they were at the start of the season. They've not been playing good recently. And of course, we've got the Blues with that new coach bump. Doesn't always happen for teams. Certainly looked like it was the case for the Blues last night. They came roaring out and really had a great start against the Sens, turned into a big win in their first game since Craig Berube's firing. And speaking of that, quite a scene last night with Jordan Kyrou getting booed kind of repeatedly throughout that game after making some, I guess, some comments that what do you think it was, Jake? What do you think people rubbed people the wrong way? It looked like Kyrou had maybe stopped playing in order to, to get Berube fired. Is that how some people took his comments, basically saying he's not my coach anymore? I don't have a comment when asked by reporters, what he thought of the firing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a combination of things. I don't think the firing was particularly popular amongst a large segment of the Blues fan base. Obviously, they associate Berube with the Cup win,
Yeah.
and maybe Jordan Kyrou is not living up to the expectations he had when he was drafted or when he was a younger guy. So I think it's frustrations, kind of coming out from the fan base that doesn't really believe the coach should have been fired.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kyrou pretty emotional after the game. And I mean, yeah, I don't know how it feels to get booed by an entire arena of your own fans, but certainly probably not a good feeling. But man, I don't know. I think it's between his reaction to how the fans treated him, the way that he answered the question about Berube's firing. Um, I wonder sometimes if NHL players, especially nowadays, maybe just don't spend enough time kind of maturing off the ice as much as they should. And not that there's anything immature about crying. I'm not making fun of them for that or anything like that. I just mean, obviously Berube had a lot of respect um in the Blues organization. You kind of know that kind of quote is not going to be, it's going to be, if anything, taken out of context. So just definitely an opportunity to learn from that one for himself and other young players to just shut your mouth sometimes, say like, oh yeah, it's sad to see him go. Bullshit the media for like, really, like, don't cause yourself any problems, right? He kind of did that. He hasn't been playing well. The fans aren't happy with how the team has been playing. They specifically aren't happy with some of the star players. Berube himself had called out the star players for not living up to their big contracts, etc. So yeah, it was kind of, I mean, yeah, you gotta watch what you say after that. You maybe just count your blessings that he's gone if you didn't like being coached by him, and move on instead of making a snarky remark, I guess. Not that I really think Berube deserves any respect. I don't care for Craig Berube. I mean, by all accounts, not by all accounts, I shouldn't say that, but by some accounts, he's kind of a jerk. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I guess Blues fans feel differently because I did see a lot on Twitter yesterday of, he brought us a Stanley Cup and Kyrie wasn't even around for that, etc. Like, so it was interesting though to see how that all went down. But yeah, the Panthers and the Kings, two teams that kind of, I think, are we gonna pause the wagon status on these two teams because LA, a bit of a letdown recently. Of course, they lost back-to-back games on the road. They come home, they lose a game to Winnipeg after being up 2-0. Now they're in Seattle. Small edge on the LA Kings. Of course, they're still playing really great over the last, the last month or so, and beyond that. But um, I don't really want to lay this price right now, given how Seattle has played as of late, how their offense has clicked. I know they played the Blackhawks, who are not a tough test by any means, but they did put up a big score on Chicago. They're feeling it right now. Really love the Pittsburgh Penguins play, and that's about it. I mean, the model thinks Pittsburgh should be plus 128. They're plus 143. That's a decent edge. And yeah, so I'm locking in the Pittsburgh Penguins. Did I already do that? I'm pretty sure I did. So yes, I did. I locked in the Pittsburgh Penguins. So please like the show if you have not already. Subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel to get daily projections and picks Monday to Friday right here on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel for free. We do this every day for free. And yeah, it's been a good run. Slow recently, slow to bad. I guess it hasn't been terrible by any means. Tons of closing line value on a lot of plays, but just hasn't equated to wins and profit. So hopefully that turns around over the weekend. And yeah, that pretty much does it for this weekend or Friday show. Looking ahead to Saturday's games, I might be able to relay some more plays to you all on Twitter at Digital Gambler on Saturday if some more pops up, which very well could be the case. Of course, we got 13 games on Saturday, and there could be some shifts in the market between now and this evening or tomorrow morning. And if I see anything on Sunday that is good, like I did last week, unfortunately, it didn't work out to any extra profit. Went 1-1 with the Sunday plays. But if I see anything that I like, I'll be sure to check in with a short video on Saturday afternoon in all likelihood. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it. See y'all on Monday, if not the weekend. Take care. Good luck with your bets.